Thank you, sir. Thank you for the question. Thank you to the Dawn Media Group for hosting this wonderful conference. I'm really enjoying it. Munir Kamal Sahab, you have many questions rolled into that.
Yeah, I know.
And so I'll try and break it down. I think the first broad question around that is, what role can the banking sector play? And should we be held accountable for it? And then the second one is more around Bank al-Falah's or journey on the environment side. So I'll sort of broadly cover those 2 points. If there's anything that I've missed, you can surely ask. So clearly, banks can be an important force for good, a force for change. Certainly at Bank al-Falah, we believe that. We are an important cog in the wheel, and in this desire to improve the environment and for this climate change, can we be held solely accountable? Of course not. There's going to be a lot of stakeholders, so we're an important cog in the wheel. We are very socially conscious, certainly at Bank al-Falah, about our social responsibility. We are responsible for safeguarding everyone's deposits. So we have to ensure that the financial system remains sound. In the same way, we have to be caring towards our people and the communities that we live in. So we've been trying to obviously play a significant part towards that end. However, there's got to be a partnership model that has to come in place. So you have to have government policy that supports it. We have the example of California. So that California is the leader in climate action in the US, and there's a lot of policy that supports, government policy that supports that whole ecosystem. So that whole ecosystem has to work together to make, to make positive inroads towards climate action. So yes, we can be held accountable if there is certain policy targets that are given to us, but obviously we cannot be doing it on our own. And I'll give you an example of our journey that we took. So we at Bank al-Falah are very conscious about our responsibilities. You mentioned about the floods affecting a significant portion of the economy. Some say 30% of Pakistan was affected. We were the largest corporate donor, Bank al-Falah. We made a $10 million contribution towards the flood affectees and the rehab there. We invested a lot of money. We impacted about 1.1 million individuals in that process, and we were measuring that and getting it audited by a reputable auditor to make sure that we are actually, it's backed up, that information. We invested a lot in getting people to sustainable housing. We were very conscious about the environment. We are on our essentially journey to become a green bank. That's really our goal. So where did this journey start for us? I have to give credit to IFC, I have to say, because IFC came in as an investor in Bank al-Falah back in 2014, and that was one of their prerequisites that we have to set up an environment and social management system. So we put that in place in 2014. We were the first ones to do it. So that was about 10 years ago. And it was an interesting journey because initially when we would ask our clients, well, do you have an environment? We would ask them all these questions about environment, and they'd be completely lost and come to us and say, well, why are you asking us these questions to us? No other bank is asking us these questions. So it made us uncompetitive in many ways. So we had to cross that bridge. So that was an interesting journey. We don't face the same issues anymore, but that was 10 years ago. Second most frequent question that we used to face at the time was our clients coming in and say, where exactly do we go to get this environment certification? So there weren't any, it wasn't very clear, obvious which government agency they'd have to go to get those certifications. So again, that was part of our journey. So this brings home the point that partnerships are important, policy action is important by the regulators and by government to support the ecosystem. We can't do it alone. Now, there are systems and policies and procedures now in place. The central bank has been active, so now all the other banks are also have adopted a lot of these practices, so that's good. So that, that's been really, really important part of our journey. The other thing that we're thinking about, as I said, we want to become a green bank, and that really entails, three broad focus areas for us. Number one, we are focusing on, reducing our own impact on the environment. So how can we, we have branches and real estate all over the country. How do we make sure that we can put in sustainability measures in place? And now we've started to do that. That's very, very important. How do we dispose of our waste? That's a big, issue that we need to consider. Other than that, we are allocating capital towards, more and more capital towards, green initiatives. We've invested about, at least 30 billion or so in green and idle projects. That's been good. And then the third and most important aspect is how do we introduce more and more products and services which are green. So that really is, our, some of the key focus areas for us. So it's been an interesting journey for us. It's something that we believe in. We feel in summary that we at Bank Al-Falah can be a force for good in this area. We care about our communities, and we want to continue to pursue our ambition of becoming a green bank.